Open up, UOPN.
Welcome to.
Hello.
Hey, girl.
Welcome to Whole Lotta Topics,
Whole lot of gossip.
and a whole lot of fun. So we are here October 26th, 2020. Very chilly Monday night. How was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty good. Nice,
Hello.
nice and simple. Are we live? We live? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Rosie.
You didn't start the watch party yet, right? You didn't do it.
You told me not to. No, we talked.
Okay, good. That's one cute, friendly reminder. Cute like me. So yeah, what did you do this weekend?
I went out Friday drinking. A little, a little fun. A little stressed. And Saturday I stayed home, watched the show. And Sunday I cooked dinner. And that's about it. A couple of meetings and stuff.
I was home. I was home all weekend. I didn't go out any day. I was just doing boring adulting stuff, grocery shopping, running errands, stuff like that. Very boring things.
Huh?
Very boring stuff. Adulting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's this comedian Desi, Jess Hilarious' brother. He for the adulting tour. So just doing boring stuff that I didn't think I was gonna do as an adult. I thought I was gonna be partying on yachts and stuff. I didn't think I'd be home doing grocery shopping and things like that. I didn't see that for myself. I just thought I was gonna be living on a yacht or something.
Yeah.
Anywho,
I never thought that, but
where did you see yourself as an adult?
no, like I am now. I probably would have had kids by now, though. But other than that, I pretty much knew this what adulting was. Seen it with my mother. I didn't see her on yachts. I saw her doing stuff that I do now.
Yeah. No, I saw that. I saw parents and grandparents. I just, for myself, I pictured something different.
I didn't picture that. I don't know. Maybe I had more of a realistic. I never thought it'd be fun. I knew it'd be.
Never thought being an adult was gonna be fun.
I knew it'd be an experience. Hey, Cynthia. I knew it'd be an experience, but I didn't think it would be like all fun and games.
Oh.
I did.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But anywho, yeah, like I said, I did boring stuff. And another thing that adults do. Oh, we had some birthdays last week. Yeah, two people who you thought were Libras and they're not. Monica and Adrienne Bailon.
Monica, hey boo, she's still leaving my head. She don't know her birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put my hair up because it's super hot in here.
You're so lucky. I have on a sweatshirt because it's super chilly. And we live in the same building. The sun ain't right.
That's hot.
The sun is not right. But okay, while you doing that, I'll just chat. Yeah, so Stephen said, hola, hey.
Hey, AKA Tyrone. I didn't forget about that.
Oh, right. So basically, had a couple birthdays that passed by. Monica, Adrienne said she was home doing nothing and she was very excited about that. Yeah. I was like, wait, what Israel doing? I'm like, maybe Israel had to work or something because you didn't know you didn't want to be home.
They probably had a romantic night out, romantic night in. They probably had people serving them and stuff. She got that.
Stephen said it's the chain of muscle. What he means by that. But so we wanted to talk about because election day is coming up.
Thanks for that.
Hey, Daddy. So there was a debate last week, and I missed out. Yeah. It was Trump versus Biden. I saw the vice president debate, which I thought was really interesting. But you tell us a couple things about the debate. You don't have to say who you're voting for because that's personal. So you don't have to say who you're voting for if you don't
Well,
want
I'm voting for the lesser. Is that a word?
what they say, the lesser of two evils.
Yeah, that's what I'm voting for. You figure that out, people.
Which is who? Oh, okay. We have to.
You figure that out. Who do you think is a lesser evil person?
So what did they talk about in the debate? What was the theme? What was going on? Because I missed
It was
it.
a very comical debate because of the amazing comedian Donald Trump. He's missing his calling in life. Um, so they broke it down to like 6 categories or whatever. The
Okay.
first one was, of course, coronavirus. Um, Trump praises himself for um, the vaccines coming really soon in weeks. He said, which I don't believe that. I don't know who he hooked up with. Maybe he hooked up with Amazon to bring that to our doors. I don't know.
Whatever happens is gonna be after November 3rd, right? After it's gonna be after the 3rd.
Exactly. But scientists and experts are saying 2022, but he's saying next couple of weeks. So he's holding the magic wand for that. He also believes that it's going to completely go away. There's not going to be any more corona in the near future.
Okay.
Biden blames him for it, blames him for not taking control of the situation and kind of downplaying it for whatever reasons that he did. Biden estimated that 200,000 people are going to die in the remainder of the new year, until January. Yeah, that's worldwide.
Worldwide. Okay, not saying that makes a difference, but
of coronavirus.
Wow.
Yeah, and he said that Trump has no plan. He never had a plan, but he talks a good one. But there's no plan, in which I completely agree with it. He blames China. Okay, you can put the blame on China. Let's like us complain about Popeye's chicken, how it's too greasy. It's our choice to like make our own chicken, correct?
Yeah,
create our own whatever. So Trump is like full of it when he keeps on blaming the blame but don't fix it. That's annoying to me.
Right, it doesn't matter where it came from. Just like Ebola came from Africa, they don't call it the African virus. It's like, what are you gonna do about it?
But he's the least racist person now. Remember that?
Who said that? He's saying he's the least racist?
Yes, that's a quote that he said. He's the least racist person. But we're going to get to that at the end. The next one was Biden talking about doing rapid testing. He's planning for schools and businesses to be open, but for them to be safe, which is a problem now because the state has opened up schools, like the world has opened up schools, and now they're closing again because it wasn't a proper plan.
Right.
So that's yeah. So then Trump goes back and forth and talks about Johnson and Johnson, other companies coming up with a vaccine. He's very excited about that.
Okay.
And it's going to be 100 million vials. He's really excited about it. He's really good with numbers. He's amazing with numbers. And Biden kind of did a downer. He said it's going to be a dark winter, and there's still no plan.
What that mean? Did he explain what that meant?
That means that it's still no plan, and people are still dying from this virus.
I don't want to quarantine again. That's my biggest fear right now.
And Trump is saying that quarantining and social distancing doesn't make sense really because we need money. So his big thing is about money.
I gotta go.
Yeah. So his big thing is open it up. We're gonna work it out. So that's kind of interesting to me. Okay, so next thing they talked about.
Okay, before you go on the next thing, I have to talk. My whole thing is, where's he getting this information? It's like, where's he getting the fact that to open up the businesses and quarantining doesn't work? Like, did he quote any facts, any doctors, anything?
Trump is a fact. He doesn't need to quote anybody.
I can't take this. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, the next thing, talked about healthcare, Obamacare. Trump obviously has a problem with anything Obama has touched.
Right.
He said there's a better plan ahead. He wants to totally go against Obamacare. America's going to have a beautiful healthcare, which that adjective, I don't think people think of their healthcare as beautiful. That annoys me about him, that he uses these weird things.
Adjectives. Yeah.
Verbs or whatever. Protecting America, whatever. People are going to love their healthcare. I don't think anyone loves their healthcare. I think everybody thinks their healthcare could be a little better. So maybe his plan, whatever. 8 million people plans will be terminated when Trump's will be terminated. Biden argument was to build on Obamacare. Public option is an option to either stick with your private insurance or opt to Obamacare, whatever. Reducing drug prices, which is a really good idea.
Hello.
Medication is extremely expensive and we need it to survive. And some people are dying because they can't afford their medication.
And they are multiplying the cost of things like by 800%. I remember needing a crown and I asked the dentist, like, how much does it cost for a crown? He's like $40. And you have to get a crown through your insurance. They charge the insurance like $1,000 for something that costs $40 to make.
It's bad. It's bad. I remember one time I had to get.
I'm watching the debate. I'm getting angry.
I had to get. I think I was working at West Harlem, and I was getting like I talk about the birth control pills, and my insurance didn't go through yet. So I was like, "How much is it?" It was like $160
for 1 month.
Yes, girl, and that was in 2000 and maybe like 10. And I was like, well, I'd rather have children. Like, I don't understand.
And that's the problem. Like, oh my goodness.
Nobody's saying. And then she said, oh, you could get a 20% discount. And I'm like, a 20% discount? Please. What is 20%? The taxes.
Wait,
let's do the comments. Yeah,
I would say. So, my mom said, hi, ladies. Stephen said,
a lot of money.
Hey, Mom. And Stephen said it was a hot mess. Y'all know it. I didn't see it. That's why I saw she's reporting. Rosie said, I don't believe that at all. I'm talking about Trump and Corona. Yeah. Cynthia said 45 is crazy. I didn't even remember he was the 45th president. Rosie said he didn't inform us and he been new. Rosie said he blaming China. Stephen says, sorry, Jovi. Quarantine seemed the next most likely move.
Yeah. Again.
My whole thing is, and you know what? We're going to talk about that next week. Is this like a quarantine in Bay? And I know that's really petty and selfish to think about. We're going to talk about that next week. And Rosie said he wrong beliefs. And Cynthia said, I have to get a crown and my copay is $150. Right. And I'm kind of...
And that's a copay. That's a copay.
$700.
Yeah, that's a little extreme.
So let's do, because we want to talk about our binge-worthy shows. Let's do like 1 or 2 more.
Okay, so one interesting thing that he talked about was the Mexico, the children being separated from.
Yes. Let's talk about that.
So 500 children are still without their parents, which I found very interesting because they don't really talk about that on the news. I haven't heard that. Like, that was news to me. So Trump made up not a good point, but an interesting point. And he said Obama's camp, like when Obama was in office, built the cages for the Mexicans to like be captured.
Is that true, though?
I don't know if it's true. I didn't Google it. I didn't really, but I found it. Biden didn't deny it or confirm it.
Okay.
And then he talked about coyotes and the cartel are bringing the Mexicans into the city. So my question to you is he talking about the animal coyote? Like, are they riding on the backs of the like? How is that happening?
I know coyotes are big in California, and Mexico is close to California. Because I don't know, maybe are they giving it to the coyotes to swallow? Maybe. I don't know. Putting it in their butt.
I don't know. That's a very interesting. I don't know. So yeah, they talked about that, and then he said that he is the president that has done the most. It's the last thing that has done the most for the Black community.
Can you make a list of what he did?
About prison reform, which is just not for Black people. It doesn't say it's for everyone that's injustice, and the justice like
right.
It's not just for Black people. And I guess he's talking about like the stimulus and the unemployment rate, how people are being supported, which is not true. So basically, Trump just talked out backwards.
The unemployment thing, thank you. To the people who, because
right now it's nothing. It's not a consistent.
And what did he do with prison reform? We did.
He took a picture with Kim Kardashian, and they got that Black lady, that your grandmother out.
Like 3 people, yeah.
And then Biden talked about Central Park 5 and how Trump was against them being released. So, yeah, so it was very interesting. Very interesting.
What Trump said about that?
Trump doesn't answer questions that he knows he can't answer.
Oh boy. Okay, well, I'm glad you watched the debate. So people, you can let us any other comments about Trump or Biden. You don't have to say who you're voting for because that is personal. And some people may not vote for Trump, and they may not vote for Biden. Maybe they'll vote for Trump. And people don't want to be shamed for. Oh my goodness! Speaking of that, I was going for a walk yesterday, and there was a white guy who had a sign, and he said, if you vote for Trump, you're not Black.
I don't understand that.
Because I guess he's saying that no Black should vote for Trump.
Oh, if you vote for Trump,
you're not Black.
Okay, I thought you said if you don't vote for Trump, you're not Black.
No, if you vote for Trump, you're not Black. And he was walking around in Harlem. And Harlem is very safe now because I don't think a white person could have done that 20 years ago. Just walking around Harlem with a sign, if you don't vote for this person, you're not Black.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, so Harlem is very safe now.
Yeah. Harlem caters to.
That was interesting to me. But we didn't have any other comments right now, so we're gonna go talk about our binge-worthy shows. Yeah. Now, one of the shows I had no idea that you watched. I don't remember you telling me about it, but we're all talking about that second. Yes, but All American. You said your mom and your brother got you into it. I was watching it too. Yeah. But you said your mom and your brother got you into it. So we
talked about it a couple of months, like maybe last year. Mm-hmm.
And I think me and Sammy talked about it one time too, like one time.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, because Sammy really doesn't have good taste in shows. Like sometimes he watches like weird stuff. He watches like a lot of rap battles and stuff. And
my god, people in these rap battles. Anyway.
So I was like, okay, but no. And then my mom watched it. And maybe my mom has similar taste in shows. So I watched it and I love it. I love the plot. I love the scenery. I love Spencer. Daniel Ezar.
I have no idea what his real name is.
Yeah, he's British.
Yeah.
The plot is just hilarious. The plot is really good. It's a really good storyline. Really good story. And I think every character brings something to the table. Yeah. Which is really rare. And
people who don't watch it, the premise of the show takes place in LA. I forgot what part. Takes place in like Beverly Hills and like the hood. I don't know what the hood area it is. Maybe Compton or something.
It's Crenshaw.
Crenshaw, yes. Yeah. So basically, this guy from Crenshaw, his mother's a single parent. He has a younger brother, and his mother knows a coach in Beverly Hills High or Beverly Hills Prep, and she wants her son to have a better life, so she has to go to that school in Beverly Hills. So Tay Davis there, and he got a white wife, and it's biracial kids and all that.
Mm-hmm. And the kids really match the parents. The daughter, they match. They match. They really do match. So it's a lot of drama with these children, with these teenagers. They're very grown to be in high school, but I guess that's every show.
But you mean grown?
They just like they come in really late. They have like they sexually fluent. Like they're really like they grow, but that's in every teen age show.
Yeah, I think being sexually fluid is nowadays. Like,
It's,
yeah. But I'm trying to think, did I hang out late in high school? No.
They come home late.
Uh-uh.
Yeah. The only one that should be able to stay out is Breezy because she's like independent. But it's like the rest of it's like y'all just throwing these house parties and it's just okay.
But I guess when your parents are rich, you remember the girl. What's her name? Not Camille. What's the bougie girl name? The bougie black girl.
Layla.
Her dad is never there, so that's different.
And shout out to her dad. He's from I Like It Like That. He had like 5 seconds in the movie. He beat up Chino.
Who he beat up?
He beat up Chino. He called his wife a high-paid hoe and threw money at him. And that was like one of the best scenes. That was a street fight. It was one of the best scenes. And I'm All American.
That reminds me. Speaking of that, because All American is really good. There's another show I want to talk about. But they just did the trailer to Selena the series, which comes out on Netflix December 4th. And I know you were excited to see that. I'm really excited to see that. That's going to be binge worthy as well. But you guys check out All American.
Yes, please.
And season 3 should be coming out on channel WB Picks.
Yeah. The home of Greek.
Another show that we both watched. So I don't remember you telling me about it, but I remember you talking about it, but I didn't remember. And I just was watching it because there was nothing else to do over the weekend. It's so good. The People versus OJ.
Yes.
That show's so good.
It's really good. I was mad at it ended too.
Oh my God. But I think they're going to have a season 2. Cuba Gooding does a great job portraying OJ.
He does.
Right?
And you want to think it's because he likes white women in real life?
That's what you read my mind. So I was going to say, if you notice, they always put black men playing interracial dating to men who really date white women. Just like Tay Diggs.
Yep, exactly.
What's up with that? I don't know why they do that. I don't know.
Like picking a person that grew up in the hood to play a gangster in a movie. It comes naturally.
So I'm like, Cuba kind of stayed with OJ a little bit, but it's like y'all picked him because he has a white wife, I think, or had a white wife. His girlfriend's white. Yeah. So that's really interesting. But what I wanted to talk about so OJ Simpson, everybody knows about that time. OJ was a big star, and he was accused of a double homicide. So the first thing about with interracial dating, a lot of people saw OJ as a sellout. Mm-hmm. Because he had white friends, a white wife, all of that. Do you remember like that era? Like how did you remember OJ or?
I remember my teachers in elementary school looking at it in the teacher's lounge. Like it was really big. And when he won, they were really hyped about it. And I didn't know who the hell they were talking about. I just wanted to go to gym. So.
See, you're younger than me. I was in middle school.
Yeah.
And they played it in our classroom. I remember it was English class. It was Miss Bird. And they like played OJ result. And everybody, because we were young, was like, oh, he didn't do it. They just trying to put a black man down. Mm-hmm. Which we learned in the show. That's how they intentionally try to put it, holding the black man down. And everybody was cheering and happy. Like, oh, yes, OJ. They didn't hold, not guilty. Like we knew him or he was going to give us money or something like that.
I think it became more about race than the actual fact.
100%.
It definitely, it didn't matter. And that's sad because it didn't matter that Nicole lost her life. It was about black versus white. And that's really horrible because it really took away from someone actually being committed. Like he should have been. Yeah, that's like telling me who I'm voting for. That's like telling y'all who I'm voting for president. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I do definitely think OJ should not be chilling right now. But you know,
well, one thing I will say, Wendy Williams always said is my auntie, but she always said he was a very handsome man, very handsome. Mm-hmm. But I do feel like it was sad that they used the black versus white because as a woman and I'm older, she was in a domestic situation. He was abusive to her. She called the cops on him. And the reason why he made the statement, I'm not black, I'm OJ, was because he felt like he was above his race. Like, he didn't feel like a black man. He just felt like a rich person that could get away with whatever he wanted to. Mm-hmm. And it was really sad for Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman you know, he was beating her up and stalking her and harassing her. And they have the 911 calls. This woman was not faking anything. And if looking at all the evidence, and see, back then, that's another thing that the show brings out. People didn't know what DNA meant.
Yeah.
So the fact that they had DNA on the crime scene, his car, I don't know.
And another thing was
he did it.
I think she didn't get a lot of help because a lot of white people, when a white woman dates a black man, they kind of turn their back on the white woman. So I feel like that's another reason why she didn't get a lot of support with her own community. Only her, if you look at it, only like her close friends and family, like white people did support her because she actually died, but like when she was getting abused, why did anybody say anything? And also,
he was rich, you know, and celebrity.
Rich, and because he was black. I feel like a lot of white women, even today, I'm pretty sure white women that date or marry black men, their families are not 100% supportive. And if something goes down, they probably like, I told you so. Well, you married a black man, you know.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really sad. And she met him when she was 8. And that's the thing. So I was watching it all weekend, and I watched his interview. He did the If I Did It.
If I Did It?
Yeah. He was married, and his what?
Well, Keena wanted to say something about OJ.
Oh yes, Nick, let's go, Keena. What's up?
But go ahead, Mr. Goodwin.
Now, I was listening to y'all conversation. It was very interesting. And I do believe that the case became more about race. And I don't think that black people were necessarily siding with OJ. We just siding with a black man getting over the system that's fucked over so many of us. You know what I mean? So I think it was more about that. Like, I think a lot of black people back then didn't care whether he did it or not. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
Which is messed up. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, you know, damn, can you blame us for feeling like that?
No, I agree. 100%.
Yeah. But it's so sad that somebody had to lose their life and nobody paid attention to the details.
Well, my thing is, did OJ really do it?
No.
The evidence from the case from day one was bungled. From day one.
That's because racist white people that can't.
You gotta watch the People versus OJ. They made it like it. But no, the evidence was sound. But I do think, and this is what they talk about on People versus OJ. OJ, even though what you're saying is 100% true, we wanted a black man, you know, to not get over, but because of what happened. But he was not the ideal black person to get away with something. Like, he wasn't our Messiah. He wasn't our Holy Grail. He didn't get that.
But like I said, it wasn't about OJ.
Yeah.
The fact that he was a black man and you know what I mean, the racial implications. This is a couple years after Rodney King. This is a day where so much racial injustice happens. They're like, man, I don't give a shit who it is. If he's black, I want that nigga to get off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, straight up. You know what I'm saying? And it's not be like that. But who created the conditions for for that to be like that? If there had not been so much injustice and shit like that going on, maybe black people back then would have been more objective about justice instead of being biased about justice. You know? And white people are the same damn way. They try to front. They're the same way. The same exact way.
OJ still.
They're the same way with a lot of shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they want a nigga to get 100 years for selling drugs and shit, but you know they cool with Weinstein and them getting like house arrest, and white people get slaps on the wrist for shit. A white guy, Brock Turner, got 3 months for getting caught red-handed raping a woman behind a dumpster. The guys found him and beat his ass, and they gave that man 3 months.
Wow, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? White people feel the exact same way. Oh, he can't go to prison. It's going to fuck his life up. They are biased too. So they created these conditions for people to feel like that. I'm not going to keep wanting justice objective. If every time a nigga's on the stand, that nigga's doing 100 years for stealing a hamburger and shit, fuck that shit.
I see the past 14 didn't say it, but no, it's true. Like, that's what he represented. And even for me being 12 years old, so I see probably if I was 12, you were like 10. Like, it was a pivotal moment in history and culture. You know, but like when I watch back and being an adult, you think like if we take race out of it, which of course we can't, because America's so racist. It's like, damn, what he did was fucked up. But you gotta watch the People versus OJ. There's a lot of evidence pointing to it, and then he does not have an alibi. What were you doing? When these people was getting stabbed, what were you doing? Where were you at? Who has the alibi? Like, it's so many things that say, okay, yeah. And then he came up with that show, If I Did It, here's how I would have did it. OJ gotta go.
I think OJ was bitter about that, about losing his Heisman and getting sued into not being rich anymore. Someone brought up a good point though. Will OJ be able to pull up at her house and beat this guy, subdue this guy with his bare hands, who was also supposed to be trained in martial arts? Will he be able to pull up over there? OJ was a big dude, don't get me wrong, but will he be able to pull up over there, subdue a man who's supposed to be trained in martial arts, and then subdue her without her alerting any neighbors, and then kill both of them without having no defensive wounds except for one cut on his hand? He would have more defensive wounds than that, fighting a trained martial artist.
One thing, Keenan, because they talk about it on the show too. Nicole, and not Rodman. They say he didn't do drugs allegedly, but Nicole used to be high as a kite. So I don't know.
Oh, you say they might have been drugged up.
If they were on drugs, your parents don't know everything you do. They were both out of their mind on cocaine and pills or whatever, and they were like that. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Theory.
I just need to know what he was doing. If he could tell me what he was doing between 10 and 11, where the murders took place, then I'll be like, you know what, OJ?
Yeah, he was probably coked up himself.
And then he probably got that CTE. We're gonna talk about, we'll talk about that another time.
Thing, yeah.
That brain thing that they say all football players have, from all that like contact sports and stuff. I don't know, but it's really good. You gotta watch it too. You'll like it.
I like it. We watched it already.
Oh, you watched it? Okay, so you watched it. You still don't think he didn't do it?
I think it creates a specter of doubt. I do think that, there's I don't honestly know what to believe, man. I do think that there's a possibility that he did it, but you also got to look, the evidence was mishandled. And then it's just like, okay, if he did do it, you can't find an alibi. How did he do it without sustaining any damage, unless what you said, they was passed out? You know what I'm saying? I don't know about, the autopsy, what kind of stuff she had in her system, but it's like, I find it hard to believe that you can go into a house, even as a football player, like, not saying he couldn't beat the shit out of both of them, but you couldn't do it without getting any scratches on you. You know what I mean? This guy's a trained martial artist. You're going to take some type of damage from him. If somebody's going to hear it, the neighbor going to hear it. You know what I'm saying?
You should have been on the team.
I should have been on the defense.
You need to be. You gotta know. You gotta figure that out.
I don't think it's not as clear cut as I grew up, or was kind of thought it was. When you look at the documentary, I was like, damn, I didn't even know. I was a kid when the case happened, so I didn't know nothing about Mark Furman or what that.
And I also think that the white people, the officer was so thirsty because he was racist.
Right.
If you would have just left stuff alone, he probably.
There was that one.
I feel like he did too much.
There was that one officer who took evidence home.
This is what I'm saying.
He stayed like an hour away from where it happened. He took evidence home in the trunk. It's like, come on. It's like
they were right. No, I agree. They were sloppy. However, OJ was friends with the LAPD. Those probably was his buddies. That's probably what they was like.
Oh, he didn't like the one. What was the one on trial?
Furman.
He wasn't.
No, Furman was racist. But I don't think that you think the LAPD framed OJ? No.
I feel like they tampered with the evidence, but they didn't have to. If they would have just left it alone, it would have been right there. Mm-hmm. I feel like, I don't know if OJ did it like physically, but I think he was involved with it. Yeah.
Okay, well then that's another thing. I don't know. I honestly don't know what to think about that. Obviously, making books and TV programs talking about I didn't do it, but if I did, that doesn't help your credibility and stuff like that. I don't think he's a good human being. If you're saying all that, like, I don't think he's a cool. I don't know. He got a history. He's not like.
He left his wife while she was pregnant to date an 18-year-old Nicole while he was 30. That's just,
Yeah, hey man, nigga was doing his thing.
Wait, real quick before we end, because when my mom was laughing, so recently people were mad, but OJ still up to, and he was at a party with a whole bunch of white women, and he was like, OJ, no white women, they don't care, no white girls were still dancing with OJ. Young white girls too.
If you white, stay away from OJ, please.
That's what he did now. He had the first black wife, and then
black girl will date him after what happened to Nicole.
They what's her name? Black China Mom said told him to come down.
China Mom will date. Please. We're not
I don't see now OJ. I don't see OJ with a Black China Mom personality. I'm sorry.
He's gonna be the victim.
Right? He can't go from Nicole Brown.
China Mom is.
All right.
Thank you. Hi, Vincia. Miss you.
Oh, you know that person? Okay.
Sorry, yes.
Hi. No, but thank you for that input. I'm glad I watched it and Keena gave his input. But yeah, let's just say may they rest in peace. That was really sad.
Domestic violence is not good. On whatever race you are, if you see somebody say something, help them.
Right.
Encourage them to leave. A lot of times it might not work, but keep on.
Right. That's the number one reason why women are in jail, because they killed their attacker, and that's domestic violence usually will lead to them murdering you, damaging you in some sort of way. So it is very important to get out, like you said, no matter what race you are.
And domestic violence is going on a lot too during COVID.
I heard that.
Yeah. Trump brought that up in the debate.
Well, let me just say, with no domestic violence, he with me and Bunny.
They kind of good,
Good job. I know Keena is good. But really quickly, speaking of like interracial dating and stuff like that, let's talk about how they did Marsha dirty. Marsha Clark was on the prosecuting team. She was prosecuting OJ. She was representing the city of Los Angeles. They did her so dirty as a woman. They talked about her looks. They just dogged her. They did her so bad. They made fun of her for having babies, childcare issues. And it's hard to be a woman in
and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, what I liked about the show, they talked about the lawyers as well, their lives. Especially her and the black guy, not knowing that he was the token black guy on the team.
My cousin, Christopher Darden.
And so, weeks into the trial, he realized, well, I'm not here because I'm so good. I'm here because you don't want to seem racist or attacking a black man. The guy that played, what's his name? That played Johnny Cocker, the one that's
Brown.
What's his name?
Sterling K. Brown. I love him.
Yes, that's Angela Bassett's husband, right?
Oh no, you're talking about who played Johnny? That's who Johnny Cocker was.
Yeah, played Johnny Cocker. He did an amazing job. Oh my god,
he did good.
So good. Even John Travolta, they all were good. Everybody was good.
Travolta was the bomb.
Crooked ass.
They won a lot of awards, and I kept saying, why did he win? If people were
it was good. It was really, really good.
It was good.
Really good.
John Travolta. The funny part when I guess somebody got a card and John Travolta character was like, "Wait, who's giving out the card? Why didn't I get a card?" That was so funny. It was really good. So those are just some shows, if we're in quarantine again, that you guys can watch.
Yes, please watch it.
Yes. So that was good. We had a special guest.
Yes, without even asking to be on the show.
Tell me to happen anytime.
Don't tell them that.
Okay, never mind. But we're gonna be back next week. We're gonna have a lot more to talk about with a whole lot of topics,
a whole lot of gossip,
and a whole lot of fun. Bye.